In the units tab, we are only seeing around 40 probes for each. Not as many as you would sort of like to see at this stage in the game, but of course they have had to focus on so many things. Of course, microing this warp prism drop, going in for a second drop actually. Excuse me, I'm so excited. Can barely contain myself because I just absolutely love this sort of special tactic style of play that Austin is choosing to do. I think it's fantastic. Now that this Warp Prism has got this buff, I really think that we need to see this sort of play more. Now he has got this Observer out in his base, meaning that he will be able to spot the Observer from Vulcanix and sort of take care of that. Getting the Double Forge and the Twilight Council is out, meaning that he's going to be able to get a lot of upgrades. Getting all these upgrades and Colossus off one base now is kind of dangerous. There he is actually getting the Expand as I say that. Also sniping that Observer, just so necessary, and the Warp Prism drop is going to be coming in. Looks like it will be spotted and shot at, only doing shield damage, however, meaning that he will be safe to drop another day. Looks like over here the expansion is going down very, very late, so much later than the expansion here. Looks like the gases are not being saturated either. Vulcanix realizing he needs to get a little bit of a higher probe count. Cutting probes, actually. Both players are not making any probes right now, which is I do not recommend at all. But of course, they just have so much to do right now as he is microing this drop quite well. He's choosing not to drop there as these stalkers could just go over there and shoot him very easily. So actually choosing to head all the way back home. But he did actually, if he didn't scout it before, he did scout the Colossus right now. I know, so he knows that there are Colossus on the way. Two of them already out here. We are only seeing the one Colossus out here, but another one is in production. He is also getting the double upgrades, meaning that he might delay the Colossus just a little bit in lieu of getting all those juicy upgrades. Are we actually going to see the Warp Prism being able to poke in here? Looks like the Stalkers are very close, but this Warp Prism actually just might go ahead and drop in the natural, as there are not as many probes at the natural here, and the Stalkers might actually take a while to get down there, but of course the Colossus are going to be able to do a lot of damage. Looks like Vulcanix is also getting Blink, as we can see here, which is just going to be so useful against microing against these Warp Prism drops. Looks like another Sentry drop. Will he get the Force Field off? Yes, he will. It looks like the taken almost instantly by all his Colossus. Looks like he will leave these guys to die and just fly the Warp Prism away. I do not recommend this. I mean, he could have just picked them up. He would have saved so much resources in the unit's last tab. Let's check it out, man. Losing a lot of resources for not a lot of gain. I mean, he's only killed about 2 workers in both of those drops. Just, man, Vulcanix is just being so tight right now, securing those drops. And once Blink finishes, dropping is going to be almost impossible. Even scouting out that the Austin does not have a third. Vulcanix did scout that, and I believe that I'm pronouncing his name correctly, as it looks like he is going to snipe that stalker. If it's Vulcanix or Vulcanix, I've got to learn to pronounce these things better. However, this is a relatively small force for what Vulcanix has. I mean, 3 Colossus, a decent amount of Immortals, and a lot of Zealots. I mean, Austin's going to have to be very careful, as he does have 2 Colossus, which is quite a few, but Vulcanix is going to have the high ground advantage. However, this Warp Prism is also going to be very helpful, as when this attack does occur, he can just warp guys up on the high ground. But Blink is now done for Vulcanix. He does have the Blink sort of advantage right there, but looks like Austin is going to have these upgraded advantage, and he's going to have charge for these Zealots probably by the time he attacks, meaning that he's actually going to be in fairly good shape. Another Colossus is on the way, but of course another Colossus is also on the way for Vulcanix. It looks like he's going to have 5 Colossus by the time this attack hits. It's going to be so deadly. I mean, Colossus and good force fields at the front would literally just zap away almost everything, getting the Zealots in a nice box at the front. Not completely saturated here yet. Even just one probe just sort of chilling, so sort of being a little bit scatterbrained, but of course these players are not perfect. They're going to make tiny little mistakes. That a small counter attack, only 2 Zealots, could actually do a decent bit of damage, as there's literally nothing going on. Not even setting his rally points. Austin just really sort of being scatterbrained right now. Maybe this is one of his first tournaments, because these rally points are sort of a key thing. He's going to be sniping these pylons too, but he will be taken out. These Zealots do have +1 and charge, meaning that they're going to snipe these Zealots very quickly. Actually going to get that pylon though. A huge push coming in here. Looks like he is going to warp in on the high ground too, but it looks like, wow, Vulcanix just has so much more, sniping almost all of these Zealots. Almost essentially, the Zealots are on a move command. They're not actually doing any damage. The force fields are going, yeah, they're going to trap all these Zealots in here. They're going to get sniped by all these Colossus. Absolutely huge blunder on Austin's part. He should not have engaged there. He lost so much. Rejecting units last time, almost losing, has lost actually 1,000 more resources, almost. Absolutely insane play by Vulcanix, getting all those Colossus out. 5 Colossus. I am absolutely in love with the way Vulcanix is playing right now. Although, he has got the +1 attack and the +1. He is also getting +1 armor right now, or +2 armor rather. Excuse me. He's just not been able to macro this well against Vulcanix's play. Is Vulcanix going to opt to take a third? He actually might do that as he pushes out a third. Would be very wise right now, as he is completely safe enough to take that third. Looks like the Colossus are sort of prancing their way across the map. Looks like the Stalkers are leading the charge, going to go all the way back up here. Now, he does have a lot of Colossus, and if he gets good force fields, he could actually set Vulcanix back quite a bit too. However, Vulcanix does have that blink, so blinks onto the high ground would be very, very deadly. More Colossus are coming out. +2 is just finishing now. And a Dark Shrine is also going down for the Austin, meaning that he's going to have those DTs, which actually going to do a lot of damage if he does not get those Observers with that army. He really needs those Observers with this army right now. Proxy Pylon is setting up another Proxy Pylon, because why not? Also going to help with that supply cap. Opting not to get any upgrades this entire game, which I don't really agree with, but leaving these 2 Stalkers at home, which is actually really good play. Getting even more Colossus out right now, getting the space finally fully saturated. Is he actually going to opt to take this third? Looks like not. He's going to go ahead and engage. This is going to be so incredible. Popping the Guardian Shield. The Stalkers are going to go into the high ground. The Colossus are up here, though. They're going to actually be shooting down. Oh, the low ground doing a lot of damage if Vulcanix is not microing this correctly. He's shooting. He does not know what to shoot. Sniping one Colossus. Will he snipe another? He will snipe a second Colossus. Will actually get that third. Looks like he will. The DTs are being warped in, though, which means that they're going to be, with no Observer at Vulcanix's army, these DTs are going to be doing so much damage right now. He's going to have to pull back as soon as he notices these DTs. He does actually notice them. If we check out Vulcanix's view right now, he cannot see these DTs, so he can only see his units get sniped, meaning that he's in a lot of trouble if he does not get an Observer with his army right now. He is getting the Observer out right now. He's trying to Chrono Boost out as fast as he can. And Vulcanix just getting those upgrades, just trying to macro up an army. He only has this one Colossus, though. If we check the units tab, this is really the only unit that he has besides these 4 DTs, meaning that these DTs do not do critical damage right now. Vulcanix will still just be able to macro up and crush this. The Observer is out, meaning that these DTs are going to have to get out of there, spreading out his DTs. This one Colossus, what are you doing there, buddy? Were you all the way out here almost getting sniped, but managing to save that Colossus, too? Looks like his rally points were just not set to his units. Spreading these DTs out is actually so smart, so they don't get all sniped in the same little vein, or same little area. I don't know why I use the word vein there. It's kind of a weird word placement. Now the Forge is finally going down for the cannons, for the upgrades. This is something that Vulcanix really needs right now. Actually not Colossus here is going to be sniping this pylon, but it looks like these probes are going to be caught out of position. Vulcanix actually opting to move back. Not going to be able to snipe as many probes, but the second Proxy Pylon is actually coming in handy. I was wondering why I put it down there earlier, but it's actually going to be so handy. He's going to snipe so many probes right now. Oh my goodness. Checking out the units tab, sniping almost 15 probes just in that one little area. Oh man, only has a couple Archons, and there's the GG from Austin. I thought that Austin would have a little bit more to fight that off with, but unfortunately Austin did not. Fantastic play from Vulcanix, fantastic play from Austin. These 2 players are just fantastic, and you know what else is fantastic? These sorts of tournaments, and you know what allows these sorts of tournaments? Our sponsors. So let's just give a quick shout out to QuickTech.net. These are the badass guys that allowed us to get this tournament running, get the computers for this tournament, and they're also sort of moving into the area where they're going to set up a now. Let's just sort of get a little anecdote rolling for you guys. You want to play StarCraft 2. StarCraft 2 is an amazing game. You need a computer, and you need a badass computer, which is why you should go to quicktech.net, which is tech with a T-E-Q, not T-E-C-H, so just remember that, T-E-Q, quicktech.net, and you can go and you can order an amazing gaming rig. These guys are going to build it for you just the way you want it. You're going to get all the specs that you want, and you can play as much StarCraft as you want. You can come and play with us, and you can sign up for any tournaments that the Nebraska Esports Association does. So please check us out, guys. Check QuickTech out, and please join me for Game 2, as I'm really excited to see who is going to win this series.